Hello, my name is Linda, also known as Tortagialla around the internet. I love creative journaling and all things stationery. And as I go through my collection of old journals and decide whether I will be archiving or recycling or upcycling them, I'm going to share a flip so that I also have a digital copy for memories and you can take a peek into my journals. So today I have this A to Z handmade art journal, and it's from 2010. And you can see that it is a handmade journal with like a cardstock cover and just mixed media papers inside. It is a Japanese stab binding, so you can see the thread here that I've used to sew this together. And the cover, you can see it's just like cardstock, and I've just decorated with mixed media, the string, tidbits of collage paint, and titling it because it is an A to Z journal, meaning that I just went through the alphabet A to Z and journaled each day about a different letter or word. And I can't remember if this is like from a specific prompt or something that I was following, or if I just did this myself. But inside, you can see I start with the letter A, and the word chosen is anxious. And the front cover, I had ripped off some personal information, so that's why you see it's sort of bashed on the left-hand side. But basically, each page is sort of like a mixed media, like playing with paint and collage and definition of a word and sort of my thoughts on it. So for the letter B, it is brave, and this is like definitely very mixed media in terms of using paint in the background, stamping with some hand carved stamps, collaging with pieces of leather for the bird. The leaves, I hand carved those stamps, and stickers and papers, just all collaged together. And I actually doodled like the tree that the bird is supposed to be on. So yeah, very messy, but just playing around. And you can see for C, I have the word calm, and I did like just a big collage of a mix of papers here, and then put the word calm on top, which is actually covered with like some kind of like shiny glue. I think it's glossy accents from like scrapbooking supplies, so it makes it like really stiff and like strong on that side. And then for D, it is the word desperate. It seems like it's so sad, like all these words, but it says no more desperate, and this is like hidden journaling. So it's a little card that actually has the journaling inside, and you can flip it, and it's just decorated with a lot of ribbons and things like that. Still have the paint and such in the background, because that sort of seems like this is like my era of mixed media where I just would use paint as like a background to sort of like smush around colors. For E, it is the word excited, and you can see like the holes of this paper. The reason why is because I used like a spiral bound like mixed media paper that I just took apart and then made into this journal. And instead of like ripping out all the papers, because technically it's perforated, those like art pads, but I just left the like holes for the spiral bound there. For F, the word is feelings, and I sort of like the background of this page that's like all smushy and wet like watercolor, but not really into my handwriting and such. I've never been a big fan of my own handwriting. And I know that must sound really weird given that I am a journaler, but it doesn't mean that I like my handwriting. It just changes I'm very inconsistent. For the letter G, it's grumpy, and you can see I just did marker drawing. But yeah, like my handwriting is just very inconsistent. It just all depends on my feelings at the moment. If my hand is tired, like it will change drastically. So for H is hopeful, and this is one of my favorite pages. It's just simple black ink drawing with some watercolor, coloring it in. Super, super simple, like not actually very mixed media at all, but I definitely do like it. And for I have the word inspired, and I included this little flap, which is a postcard of Augusto Giacometti's work in the style of Art Nouveau. So this piece was just really striking to me, so I wanted to keep it in here. Definitely inspired by that type of artwork. And I suppose that I do really like, color and things like that, but I'm just not very skilled at using it myself. So for the letter J, jittery, and this is all about coffee, and this background is very, very cool. It's actually very easy to make in terms of that sort of funky pattern. It's like paint, and then you smush some like plastic into it, and it makes, and let it dry that way, so it makes that like sort of line, fractally sort of pattern in the background. For the letter K, it's kooky, and so I just used paint to create like a background of color, and I was sort of just journaling about the difference of, being prim and proper like in the Victorian days, but really being sort of kooky and weird at heart. So that was the page for the letter K, and these letters are actually, they're like crepe paper, I think, smushy foam letters. And for the letter L, it is lonesome. So it's like this big black background with drawing with a white gel pen. And I added the hearts, and it's really hard to see, but I actually did try to like doodle like the hearts. They're sort of like hanging from the top of the page, but it's hard to see because it's like black on black. And for M, it's magicamente, because I just ripped that off of like a coffee pod box and sort of use that as my jumping off point of creating this M page, and it's really just doodling patterns. And then for N, it's naughty and nice, and I tried to collage a Santa face, but it really just looks very scary. I am not obviously very skilled at like cut and paste type of collage. I mean, I know some people do very, very intricate work, but I was just ripping things and playing there. And for the letter O, I did outside, which when I look at it now, it makes me think more it should be inside, because like the word is boxed in, but I guess I was just playing with that idea of like inside, outside, boxed. For the letter P, possible, and this is another just like ink drawing doodle and writing what, like from in the area that she's like looking out. And for Q, it's quiet, and I was just thinking about like a quiet, simple life kind of thing. And so it's just a drawing. And for the letter R, restless, and I really like this little monster character as well. I think he's really cute. And it's just sort of like when you're a little kid and you're restless and you want to do things, but sometimes you don't really know what you want to do. S, so sorry, and just journaling out some of my personal thoughts there. And this is, again, just a doodle drawing with some watercoloring to color in. So probably what I do the most in terms of my doodling. And for thankful, I used a whole spread here and like turned it portrait style. So I was really just doodling little things that I'm thankful for, sort of like a gratitude list. But I didn't color it in. It was just drawing like this. I'm not really sure why I didn't continue and like sort of quote unquote finish it off, but I guess something, it doesn't have to be fully colored to be finished. For the letter U, it's undecided, and I did use the whole spread for this, making like this sort of collage, sort of like hungry little caterpillar style collage with like papers that already have patterns on them from a magazine. So it's sort of like when you're in the ocean and the water and being tossed around. And then V, vulnerable, again, the full spread, and I think that this spread is like very impactful, but it is sort of, I don't know, sort of like sad. And I can't really explain to you like all the why of everything, but the colors and things like that, about being vulnerable and stop being a worrywart, which is the word for W, worrywart. So again, this is another drawing and watercolor and just playing around, like not really anything in particular. X, xenophile, a person attracted to that which is foreign, especially foreign people, manners, or cultures. So I'm definitely from all over the place. I'm from the US, of course, but I am Chinese, and I live in Italy now, and our family is here, and I've definitely visited many different countries and enjoy traveling and learning about other cultures. Actually stuck some postcards from Spain here. So there's like this little pocket for this like half page, And for the letter Y, I think I chose, I don't know if these are from prompts or not, but youthful, so it was just a doodle here, very simple. And for Z, it was the word zany. So it's actually really hard to read though, because I have all this like glitter and I don't know, what do you call those? Like little tidbits. And I thought that this tag was supposed to come out, but it doesn't actually come out. It's actually glued on, and it's only the little person that um, comes out. And one thing I do like is that at the end of this journal, I put like the end, but I did journal out some points about how I finished the journal from A to Z and that I enjoyed the process. Journaling is fun, and having like an end makes it really approachable, and the guidelines really help to direct me. So I definitely really like these like themed journals because it's like a project and you feel like you're able to like start and then you have a finish line, and then you can start a totally different project after the fact. So I do really like this sort of like approach to journaling, and I guess that some people think of them as like prompts and things like that too. It really helps you to just sort of like to give you that little push to get creative, even if you don't have like a particular thing in mind that you want to do, which is fine, because it really is about just moving your hands and creating and going through that process rather than trying to create like a product at the end. So thank you so much for watching this little creative journal flip through. I will be doing this every week, and there is a playlist if you're interested in watching all the other videos. And if you want to support me, I am a digital designer. I post my digital printables on Ko-fi for my supporters there. I also have a blog with free printables, so you can go to tortagialla.com and download any of the papers for your own journaling. Just check out the description below for all the information and links. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye.